We got another crash out, ladies and gentlemen, from Officer Tatum. Or I guess the crash out's not from Officer Tatum, but the video that we're watching is liberal gunman fires at Navy veteran in Seattle Street. Seattle Street. For some reason I was thinking Sesame Street. All right, let's go.
Show me your ID. Pull a gun on me.
What is going on? Oh, there's a man in a wheelchair.
But this guy is gotta be the weirdest, silliest, stupidest person with a gun in his hand that I've ever seen in my life. Because if you this stupid that you shoot a man in a wheelchair and be wrong,
he actually got him.
Hey, y'all, real
Holy
quick,
shit.
I gotta tell you this.
What? This might be one of the craziest videos I've ever reacted to.
I bet you $1 million y'all didn't know this. Only 3 mobile providers on all of the cell phone towers in America. When you work with Patriot Mobile, you can pick one of the providers that work best for you. And that's the uniqueness of Patriot Mobile. Switch to the only Christian conservative provider today. All you gotta do is go to patriotmobile.com/Tatum or call 972-PATRIOT and get a free month of service.
I didn't know that. I might have to look into that. Hold on.
With promo code Tatum. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're sick of being soft, if you're sick of
I'm glad I didn't skip the ad.
The T levels being low.
I'm not worried about this.
First is a shooting that happened in Seattle on the waterfront, which was I don't know how stupid can you be.
Completely retarded. Absolutely massively retarded.
That you end up shooting a man who you claim stole Valor, and he happened to be a real veteran.
Oh, wow.
Thank God the man didn't die.
Damn,
but
good.
This guy is gotta be the weirdest, silliest, stupidest person with a gun in his hand that I've ever seen in my life.
Well, the guy in the wheelchair, I bet his paycheck every month just went up.
It's like one of those people that just, we do have the right to keep and bear arms, right? That shall not be infringed. But some people don't need a gun.
Yeah, some people are too retarded. I mean, I think that everybody needs a gun because of retards like that.
You can have it, that don't mean you need it.
Yeah.
Because if you this stupid that you shoot a man in a wheelchair and be wrong, something ain't right. Let me go through this real quick.
And just a verbal dispute and you're going to shoot a guy anyway, it don't matter. It don't matter.
Let me play the video and then we're gonna.
Don't matter that he was wrong. Even if he was right. Like, he's wrong for shooting the guy.
Talk about it. This happened on July the 31st at 6 p.m. This was at the Starbucks Pier 55 in Seattle. For those of you who know what downtown Seattle looks like, this is in Seattle. The suspect is 32-year-old Gregory Tim.
So, hold on. Did the guy in the wheelchair pull a gun? Did he pull a gun and was like, get the fuck away from me? And the guy not in the wheelchair was like, oh, you're gonna pull a gun? I'll pull my gun. Kapow! Is that what happened here? That's what I'm feeling like happened.
Which allegedly in an unrelated event in 2020 in Florida, he drove into a Trump voting booth, a voter registration booth, which he should still be in prison for, but somehow he's free.
Police said they did not find any prior convictions on this man's record, but I learned that the suspect was convicted for a crime in 2020 that caught the attention of the president. In 2021, Tim was convicted of criminal mischief in Florida after ramming his van into a tent full of Trump supporters. No injuries there, though the volunteers were shaken up. President Trump even reacted to it.
I remember this. Holy shit, dude. Small world, right? Everything's connected.
Writing, quote, "Be careful, tough guys, who you play with."
Yeah, funny how this works, man.
Tim explained his motive in court.
I honestly felt it was almost my duty to say something.
Wow. This dude's fucking insane. Holy shit. Lock him up. Like, why was he not locked up already? What?
Why do you think it was your duty?
I thought it was.
Like, this guy is completely politically brain rotted and is violent. Obviously. Excuse me? It doesn't matter if he felt like it was duty. It doesn't matter if he was brainwashed by other people. He's violent. Lock him up. Put him in a box. Keep him away from other people so he can't hurt anyone.
Somebody's duty. Because the only reason that this administration was getting away with these atrocious crimes is because we were rolling over and taking it. So how far are they going to push the American public?
Now that he's facing an assault trial in Washington, can that be used in court? It depends.
And if we do find something, we'll make sure to bring that up before the court.
And the gentleman that is the victim in this situation is Harold Powell, a 68-year-old disabled Navy veteran.
Wow.
So the white guy that you see with the backpack and the gun accused this man of stolen valor. And this is what happened. Roll the clip. So hold on, let's back up, because I think we need to get up to speed. So before the camera started, he allegedly went up to the black man in the wheelchair, whom this guy is a frequent person in the area. He sings, he does other stuff, and so everybody there knows who he is. He seemed to be harmless. He's a veteran.
Wow.
He got a flag on his wheelchair.
That must have been horrifying to see for people who know him.
He's obviously disabled. I think he's missing a leg.
Dude, that's not traumatic just for him. That's traumatic for all the people who know him there.
Due to an accident that happened to him, I forget what year it happened to him. I think he got run over and he lost his leg. And so he's a disabled veteran. So the guy comes up to him, challenging him about his valor, and they get into a conflict, and then this is the recording that you see. Roll the clip.
So wait, okay. So the guy in the wheelchair ran up on him, which should not do. That's not good. That could be considered like assault, maybe, especially if he would have actually hit him with the wheelchair. Just because you're in a wheelchair doesn't mean that you can get away with something like that. But dude's gonna pull out a gun and shoot him because of that? While he's like sitting there not doing anything, obviously not able to do anything, pulls the gun out and he's like, oh, you're gonna hit me with a wheelchair? Okay. I'm gonna step aside and I'm gonna retaliate by shooting you. There's no retaliation. There's only defense. That's not self-defense. Wow. Holy shit, man. With children around. He extinguished the threat. The threat is no more. The guy in the wheelchair can't hurt anybody else.
Show me your ID. Pull a fucking gun on me. Show me your ID. Pull a fucking gun on me. Pull a fucking gun on me. Put it away, sir.
So hold on.
All right, Eric.
There's no indication that the guy who's the suspect in this case is an actual veteran. So I don't know how a person who's not a veteran is calling out a veteran. Now, I don't know if he is or not, isn't, but it's no indication from what I read that the criminal in this case, Gregory Tim, is a veteran whatsoever. And he has the audacity to call out another man who's actually a disabled veteran and didn't have the wherewithal to identify that he was a veteran, or at least be reasonable enough to allow him to identify, which he don't have to.
Did the wheelchair guy pull out a gun though? That's what that dude that shot him is like implying, isn't it? Am I missing something here? Because if wheelchair man did pull out a gun, then this guy's in the right. But I don't want to be wrong here. Definitely don't shoot a guy in the wheelchair, especially. But if you pull out a gun, I can see it.
Before you shoot the man and say, you pulled a gun on me. So let me articulate very clearly why this white dude is going to prison. And he deserved to go to prison, and this shooting is not justified. Now, I want to play the devil's advocate on both sides so we can have a functional argument.
Here we go.
And I can diffuse a lot of the arguments against him being guilty. Yes, it is true that the black man, you can make me full screen. Yes, it is true that the man in the wheelchair did pull out an airsoft gun. However, and yes, also it is true, in the state of Washington, you have stand your ground laws. There's no duty to retreat. So those two things are true. The man in the wheelchair, as you see in the video, hit him with the wheelchair. He pulled out an airsoft gun, which could be perceived as a deadly weapon. And he also, in the state, there's no duty to retreat. However, and this is for everybody that carry a gun, you need to understand this. However, Self-defense is vacated when you are the aggressor. So when you go up to a disabled man in a wheelchair and you begin to harass him about his...
Yeah, that's what I thought happened. Exactly what I thought happened. Okay, so the guy started being aggressive toward the guy in the wheelchair, and the guy in the wheelchair was like, all right, bet. Get the fuck away from me. If you're not going to get away from me, two can play at this game. And then the white guy was like, oh, so you're going to be the aggressor now. You're aggressing the aggressor, so I'm going to be twice as aggressive, and I'm just going to go ahead and shoot you. So yeah. Wheelchair man definitely was not right in this situation, but the other guy definitely deserves prison for this, because, like, holy shit, man. Really? You're gonna spark an altercation and then shoot a guy because you don't know how to de-escalate? You only know how to escalate? You could have just walked away from the situation, you fucking idiot.
Credentials, you are the aggressor. And if that man decides to produce a weapon to defend himself from you being the aggressor, you don't then assume self-defense privileges. Meaning you can't start something and then say, well, I acted in self-defense when the person defends themselves. And it's you know, normally I'm in agreement with people who shoot people, but this ain't right. You wrong. You messed up. You finna go to jail. According to...
Yeah, going all the way to that point while there's children around who are completely traumatized because of this.
Legal prosecution against him. The prosecutors have charged Tim, and you know he's innocent until proven guilty in the court of law, but they've charged him with first-degree assault, which is a Class A felony. He's being held.
I think that probably nothing's going to happen. Nothing happened before with this guy, and I think nothing's going to happen again. Unless people make a big stink about it being a black guy in a wheelchair.
On a $750,000 bail. His defense claimed that he was acting in self-defense, citing that Powell pulled out a knife and an airsoft gun. It's not a defense, buddy. Prosecutors argue that Tim was the initial aggressor, which under Washington law undermines a self-defense claim. If convicted, Tim could potentially face life in prison. Now, I think that's kind of extreme for a person to get life in prison if they didn't kill anybody, but he should, in my opinion, be a convicted felon and lose his...
Well, I mean, like, yeah, but 10 years for this guy, he's quite old. That's basically life.
Privilege to a firearm. According to reports, Powell, who's the victim in this situation, the man in the wheelchair, the veteran, was taken to the hospital with serious but stable conditions. He has obviously recovered. All of his major organs was missed. I think it broke a rib or fractured a rib when he was shot. Mr. Powell says that he's blessed and emphasized his gratitude to be alive because that could have went south. Now, according to records that I pulled up, Mr. Powell's status of disabled veteran who survived being hit by a drunk driver in 1991 and is known as
this dude just can't catch a break.
Known fixture in the waterfront community, adding emotional weight to the case by people who know who he is.
God keeps throwing trains at this guy.
And if you carry a gun, be responsible with your gun. If you got a gun on you, the last thing you want to do is to produce the firearm unless it's life or death situations or a life or death situation. You don't produce it because you're mad. You don't produce it because you're losing an argument. You don't produce it because somebody's being aggressive to you. You produce it when your life is in danger or you're saving or preventing the loss of life and serious bodily injury for other people. If this veteran was just losing his mind and running around in a wheelchair and pulling out guns to threaten people's lives, he would be justified in using deadly force against him. If he was just riding and the veteran accused him of stolen valor, ran him over with the chair, and then pulled out an airsoft gun, he would be justified in using deadly force against him. But for you to be that silly, and everybody is okay, he's the type of person that could not wait to use his brand new gun that he bought.
Yeah, and he thought he was going to be seen as a hero in this situation.
Take the life, potentially, of another person, or at least shoot them.
Yeah, he so desperately wanted to have a hero story.
And I think it's wrong. So some people on one side, which I think rarely, unless you completely fell off the cliff, will try to defend the fact that the guy produced the weapon and that Washington has stand your ground laws. There is no defense if you are the aggressor. So just remember, know the law when you carry your gun.
Yeah, he saw that guy brandish the gun and he was like, all right, this is my time. It's my shot.
So you don't end up going to prison thinking that you were right about doing something you had no business doing. And the gentleman spoke out, Mr. Harlow or Harold Powell Sr. He spoke out a little bit on the news, but he also has a GoFundMe. And what I will say is that if you feel compelled, if he was a regular guy, I wouldn't even mention his GoFundMe. If he was just a regular person on the street, 2 people get into a conflict, he didn't die, it's fine. But this man, and it's all the information that I've seen, he is a Navy veteran. He served in the military. He put his life on the line for our country. Let's see, is he a Navy? I think I got it right. He said he's a U.S. veteran, military veteran, multiple counts recognize that he's a veteran. He was in the forefront of Seattle, U.S. military veteran, Vietnam era submarine. Okay, who served his country, including
in a submarine. Dude, that's fucking rough.
details like being a Vietnam era submariner.
Damn.
Wrong. Yeah, he's a
Submariner.
veteran. Every account that I've looked up, this man served his country, and he deserved to get some respect.
Dude, he was a submariner in Vietnam. That's rough, dude.
So I'm sorry, I was reading this thing. I just want to make sure I didn't get it wrong. So right now, unfortunately, if he was a thug, he would be at $1 million right now if he was a thug. But the man is a veteran and he got shot. And I think that if you are interested, because I'm gonna give a little something, because I just want to show some love to the man who put his life on the line for this country to be free and get shot by a maniac. Could have killed him. Look at his grandchildren and all that stuff. Could have killed him. I hope you're a good man. I'm gonna give a little something. I'm not gonna give a crazy amount of money, but I'm gonna give a little something. Maybe I'll give $40, $20 or something. But if you're interested, give to him, because I think it's the right thing to do to support veterans from a nut job that go out and shoot a man for no reason or didn't have a good reason.
Yeah, that's fucking nuts, man. Dude, thank God that guy's okay. Thank God the other guy's going to prison. Hopefully. Hopefully, it seems like he is. But you know how the system works, man. Like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell for all notifications.